Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to the TheXezuSeries and a clusterfuck. Or shall I say, TheXezuSeries explanation and a clusterfuck, because there's just so much shit in the series that I have to explain that there's no time to explain it. So we kind of left off where I was explaining how Exo got into the colonies. So yeah, he took the shuttle and blasted them into space, whatever. He thought it was gonna, because the person he was chasing, I guess, went into the shuttle base. And then he got into some escape pod, so Exo followed him there and got into. He just randomly jumped into an escape pod, hoping that it would fucking go the same direction that he was going. So shout out to space. The pods, both of them went to space. I don't know where the fuck the other one went, because he ended up getting. When the pod got to the colonies opened up his doors or whatever and sucked him in there. As for the other pod, I guess he was hired by the commander to lure Exul into the colonies. So maybe somewhere in the series, he met the person responsible, and then the commander explained to him what exactly happened. So I don't really remember. It was just sudden, but I know I had to come up with a plot that would uh, eventually send Exos to the colonies, because on Earth, fighting those fucking whatever he was fighting wasn't cutting it for him or the series. So he ends up at this military base, whatever, in space. So I explained what it was. So now I'm going to explain what type of missions they went on. So since Exil was still finding himself where he belonged and all this stuff, because he had all these powers and this shit, I will tell you two things about Exil. He is best in melee, outmatched. No one can match his skill in melee. So whenever he fights, and he adapts very quickly. So if you are kicking his ass in melee, it won't be for long. So yeah, and he had a cursed katana. That's back in the military as a ninja shit, you know. And also back in the ninja military, he learned this skills called Shangra, which is a lightning technique. It's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna use Naruto as a reference. Sasuke, his what do you call it? Shidori. It's similar to that. So basically, the Shangra acts as his only weapon in half the series. So after the Ninja War, he uses Shangra almost all the time. Fucking Space Wars, whatever. Fucking sci-fi, whatever you want to call it. When he's fighting powerful beings, that shit will be his fucking Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha. That would be his blade. That would be his fist. That'll be fucking whatever you want it to be. Shit, it could be fucking a homing missile too. Because what it did, the amount of level of energy he was using to amplify it, it will frequently change into certain frequencies where he can manipulate the lightning to do certain things or to turn into certain forms. Whether it was a solid form, which he can use it as a weapon, or transparent. So he could do some crazy stuff with just his Shangra. And not only that, his Shangra did reach higher levels to the point where it would change colors or become energy. So you could imagine how overpowered his ass was just because he had the ability to have Shangra. And I forgot why Azul, because the Shangra back in the military was a secret scroll. And I did a series about the Shangra, people having the Shangra, because only certain people were able to get the Shangra. Couldn't nobody really have it. Even if you did have the scroll, it wouldn't be the original Shangra. Because the original Shangra was some type of mysterious paranormal energy that you acquired. Well, no. The Shangra was odd energy. You had to be born with that with that makeup in order to create that type of genre, the original genre. So Exul was one of those people who had the original genre. As for everybody else who found the scroll and tried to copy its techniques or whatever, they found that they only created genres based off of chi energy. It wasn't no mysterious type, oh godly powerful energy. It was just chi energy that created their lightning with their genre. So Exor had this original genre which could just practically do anything. That's why it got so powerful in the series when he did battles and shit. That's why it's able to turn into different things. But as for the other genre users, that's not the original. They can just fucking basically be Sasuke. So okay, now that that's explained, we're going to talk about the Colonies plot because half of the Colonies series was based off of random missions they were sent on to fight random enemies that they had no idea who they were. Colony's commander knew, but they didn't. So the commander would be like, "All right, Exil, Mana Integy," or "All right, Exil, we have this mission that came up," and then he'll explain what's going on that planet or Pacific planet. And trust me, these planets were like light years fucking away. So they had this. The colonies was very high tech and technology. So they had this. And we will talk about the colony's main weapon, the Eclipse Canyon. That's the colony's fucking weapon. Whenever there's no soldiers or anything out, if there's like a fucking battleship that's approaching their colony within so many light year ranges, they will fucking fire the Eclipse Canyon, which is so fucking overpowered that that it was just made fun of whenever I did the series. So, as I was sent on these missions, I'm gonna use a story we did. I think it was related to this one planet. Basically, it was kind of a Mars type planet. A little bit of technology. It looked more desert, but the sand was red. It was kind of like more construction based scenery. A couple of cities, more mechanic based, basic technology. They were sent on a mission there to stop something from happening there on their planet because it was these people there. They were trying to do something to the technology that they discovered there. Exil and his team was sent to take out these people who were trying to do that. They had some intelligent information or some intel of what was going on. Commander gave them the intel, and they had to figure out what the fuck to do based on that. So the colony's escape pods shot them, and there was a comedy sense there too because the escape pods were being shot at such a radius that you can reach planet like such and such light years away that you wouldn't even have time to think before the impact landing. And then Xanti being the comedy character will always be the one end up doing something stupid to get hurt on landing. It's kind of funny. So you have these pods that shoot, and I forgot how the comedy sense was, but they always hated using escape pods or whatnot because just of how they were. You wouldn't even have time to have a conversation. That's how fast they were. So if you were talking to something, or if you were to say a short little phrase, you would fucking land before you finished, and something funny would happen after that. Oh no, no, I remember now. Here's what made it funny. So they would sit in these, they would sit in these escape pods and then wait for the launch, and without warning, because they talked on radar and stuff while they were sitting in the escape pods. The commanders informing them what's going on. Without warning, he would launch the escape pods when they at least expect it. And I swear, each time it was just hilarious. So when they finally got to the planet, they were immediately, you know, on their mission to do whatever. And I'm sorry if this, if explaining this is like getting boring, because this really is a clusterfuck video, trying to shove in all this information and knowledge into you guys all at one time in one moment. It really is serious. So I'm gonna like, how do you say it? I'm going to like sum it up very quickly for you guys so you understand. So Azul, when he was dispatched from the escape pods, he go on these missions. Now they were sent there to yeah, how you say, stop these people from doing the bad thing. So, he'll kick their ass and use the power. Back then he didn't use the Sodoi Shonga much, because it was too strong for, was not strong enough. So he'll use the melee. He'll whoop her ass with fist and feet and foot up the butt and fist down throat and shit. So he uses a superpower melee to beat the asshole and send them to a hospital, and they wish they never fight his ass cause they have permanent wound to their buttocks, their asshole. So now you have these bad guys. They got their ass whooped and they lay on the floor from injury and they cannot get back up because they're unconscious. And when they wake up, they're in for a rude awakening because their buttholes in pain from all the ass kicking and whatnot fist. So, as though he's a melee person, but I tell you, he also is a master of swords. Since swords is related to melee, so if he has to kill somebody and it's a powerful enemy, he'll use a sword sharp as your fucking, I don't know, sharp as a fucking blade, I guess. And he slice your ass. Funny thing is, most of the enemies in this series do they're kind of immune to cuts. So like Zul using a sword with his strength is actually enough to cut these enemies. But if a normal person would try to slice somebody, they would get their ass fucked up. So he'll use a sword to slice the enemy, and they be like, "Oh, you cut me! I thought I was immune." So then they'll have a bigger fight. And a lot of enemies in the series, are as strong as Exo. So, it wasn't no yeah, piece of cake. No, it was kind of a long out battle. So you have that happen, and then you get to this plot twist where the enemy do something stupid, and you say, "What the fuck?" in the series. So you're like, "Oh my god, I was not expecting that. Who the fuck are you? You must be some type of god. Are you trying to fucking destroy the planet? Are you trying to fucking get my attention so you can do some weird experiment, or so you can study me?" Because the enemies, oh my god. I'll be so happy when I get to the main plot of the Colonies series because it is so much to explain. And I'm going to stop right here. Because if I go any further, I will get a headache and will not be able to do any more videos. So, next video, more explanation of the colonies. Kudos.